Right, this is week 3 of my FMP journal. This week I have mainly been analysing different documentaries about cycling and doing audience research. On Thursday I conducted a focus group. I am still working on getting the analysis of that I did on the blog. At the start of the week I found that the cyclist that I am interviewing is on holiday at the start of the week that I was supposed to be filming, which is the week after the Easter holiday. So to get round this, I've decided to film for a week, or for part of the week before and then the full week after the Easter holiday, just to make sure I have enough time to get all the footage I will need to make the documentary as good as it can be. So over the weekend, that includes today as well, I have been thinking about other topics I could potentially research to develop my idea even more. One of these I was thinking about researching partway through last week, but I wasn't too sure, so I thought I would wait until the weekend to think about it more to definitely make sure whether I want to research this. This area is the cost of cycling, because I know that a lot of people who don't have enough money to get into cycling professionally for teams, or people who were in these teams but then have retired since, often watch documentaries to try and recapture their youth, or to imagine if they were younger that they're actually in a race with the professionals. So I feel if I do this and research the cost of doing it, then I will be able to find out what sort of cost it is, so then anyone who doesn't have that money, I will then target a bit more at them, as this will probably be my main source of views for the documentary. I also, in week 2, forgot to mention that I had a phone call with my practitioner Gareth Hill. Now, I didn't record the conversation as I was in a rush at the time, although I have taken a screenshot of the time that the call was, so I have proof that I was on the phone with him. The contact the contact name that I have for him is what he likes to be called as in the editing community, which is G. But that's not the point. While I was on the phone with him, he was discussing narrative arcs, and he was saying that all the best documentaries change the narrative of documentary. So instead of being about the actual topic of what the documentary started on, it's about the specific person. So it goes from being more factual based to then being solely about that person, and that emotionally connects the viewer to the interviewee or the person who the documentary is about. I feel that I will need to implement this in a very subtle way, like the best documentaries do, so that the viewers cannot tell that I have done it. I will hopefully do this by asking questions about the emotions that the cyclist feels before and after races and during races, and then I will try and link that to the mental preparation as well. So it will go from the physical preparation and the actual physical parts of the cycling first to then the mental side of it. I feel this transition will mean that the audience will connect with the viewer better, and the documentary will have a better perception by the viewers. So that's all I did last week, and that's obviously the little bit I forgot from week 2 because I had quite a busy week that week. Hopefully next week I will fully have finished the scene analysis of the other documentaries and will have fully analysed the survey results and focus group to get a fairly accurate picture of what the audience will want in the documentary. Of course, with this being in a shorter space of time than an actual documentary would take to plan, there is no certainty that it will be perfect, purely because I haven't got as many responses and as many people answering questions as the proper documentary makers would have, such as the BBC, because they would get thousands of people to answer and they would hold several different focus groups, whereas I didn't really have time to do that. So I'm just going to have to go with the results that I got, even though they might not be the most reliable, but they'll be as reliable as I can get with the time limit that I have, and that's just part of the learning process. Maybe I could have put my survey out a bit earlier so that I got a few more responses. I know a lot of the people who had been sent the survey were in the cycling community, so I probably got good responses from them, but hopefully I've got accurate responses and enough responses to picture what the demographic would be and what the demographic would want in the documentary.